So I just wanted to say, I was so close to like losing a wheel, because it's supposed to have a metal like cap and all that stuff around the inside there. Mine no longer had that. What's going on, everybody? It's Seth back with another YouTube video, and today I have to replace the wheel bearing in that back wheel. A few videos ago, I think it was like the update on my CG Accord. It's like normal. The playlist to the this car series, my 6th gen Honda Accord, it's going to be in the description down below. You'll be able to view the video there. But I mentioned I thought my transmission was going out, and I was really worried. Well, it turns out it's not my transmission going out, it's my wheel bearing. So here I've got a whole new hub assembly. This is my bearing, you know, your lugs, you can see that all right there. This is for the back side of these cars, and I'm going to be showing you how to do that today. I'm going to be taking the old one off and installing this new one. These aren't actually that expensive. It was about $54 for this. And then I also got a torque wrench, which is down there, and a 32mm lug or socket for the actual big bolt that's in there. You'll see that in a minute. But I got all that for like $100, and I was able to rent the torque wrench. So if you have an Advanced Auto Parts, I think O'Reilly, the most auto parts stores, like bigger chains, allow you to rent like tools and stuff. Do that, it's a whole lot cheaper. But anyways, let's go ahead and get straight into taking off the wheel and getting this on. So as you can see, I've gotten the tire off. I'm actually sitting on it. But next step, I'm gonna go ahead and get this cover off right here. That way I can access the bolt that's behind it. So what you wanna do to remove it is you wanna take a punch like this, stick it in the crack, and take a hammer. And then you'll be able to pry your way out from the front and the bottom. So what you wanna do is just stick it in after you get a little gap like that. Stick that in there and keep prying the whole way around this little piece here. Now that we've got the cap off, it gives you access to this bolt. So all this cap did was just hold like a covering to this bolt right here. So this is the real bolt we have to get off. But first, before I take the bolt off, I'm gonna take the caliper and the rotor off. So I'm pretty much gonna disassemble the entire brake system right quick, which I've already done before, so it's not gonna be too bad of a deal. Quickly, before I take the brakes off, I'm gonna show you how I know the wheel bearing's out. It's because if you spin it, it's extremely hard to spin. It takes a lot of force, and then I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a kind of like a humming / grinding noise you can hear as you spin it. So that's how I know the wheel bearing is bad on this side. So all I'm doing here is taking these little screws out, and I'm just using the hammer across the lugs like this to pry, so I can get these screws out without having to turn the hub, because I do not have the e-brake locked up. So all I'm gonna do is just take these screws out like this. So I had a little issue getting this one to come out. If you can see, I almost stripped it completely out. So I'm gonna have to get a new one of these, but I think I'll be able to lightly put it in there for right now and use it to just do the test drive after I finish putting the bearing in the car. So I was having a little trouble with the bolts on the caliper right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to take this big nut off in the center here. And right now I'm just gonna use this big bar, but I don't know for sure if this is gonna do it. It doesn't look like it. I might have to get a pull bar and a regular like pole to go across this end right here. So I got the nut off. I actually ended up using my impact gun. This is a Craftsman 19.2 volt impact, and I used my 32mm socket, and I ended up being able to take it off. But the thing is, with these, if you can see, there's a little groove down here. You wanna make sure that groove is bent back enough that it won't catch inside of here. Let me show you that right quick. So this right here is what I'm talking about. It has a little notch in the bolt, or in the little spindle thing here, and that's what has this, if you can see the notch in it, this bends in right there, bends in, and then it hooks in here. It hooks right in there to hold the nut from being able to come out. The problem is, if you can see, I got the end of the screwdriver broken off and stuck in there, so now I have to get that out, which might be a little bit of a challenge, but hey, you know, nothing's ever easy when you're working on a car. So to add more space so I can get back here to these caliper bolts, if you can see, they are right there. I'm going to disconnect the e-brake right here. And all you need to do that, take a pair of vice grips, if I can get it up there, hook on and wiggle the cable off. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. It takes a little bit of wiggling. The main thing you really have to do is pry this back like this so you can get over this little like lip right here. And then all you have to do is pick up a little bit and push over. But you really have to pry back, pick up, and then push over to get it around this little like hook thingy right there. Brake coming out. The hardest part about getting this out is finding some kind of extension that will actually physically get in there and fit on it without hitting any of these other lines and stuff in the way. All right, I don't know if you can see here by this, but that's how much of a pain it is kind of to get to this bolt without taking this part of the caliper off. But without taking this part off, you don't have to worry about anything like that. But I had to use that long of an extension and all in 14mm socket to even remotely get close to touching it to start getting it loose. Alrighty, now that those two bolts out are here and down here, you can take the whole caliper off. I just rested it over here. And now that you've got the screws out of here and all that, it's just as simple as pulling the rotor off, and there's your hub. And to tell really and truly if your hub is worn out, you can hear the rubbing inside. You hear a little bit of vibration noise and all that in there. You can tell the hub is worn out. So that's a good thing that I went ahead and got a new one. So to get it to come off, all you need to do, take your hammer, beat it around the outside. Give me 1 moment, I'm gonna spray down with WD-40 and then I'll come back and it should come off, I hope. And there we go. All it took was a little bit of WD-40 spraying it and pulling it off. But as you can see in there, those bearings don't look too terribly hot. And I know for a fact that this was it, because once I really spun it really hard, it made the noise I was hearing while I was going down the road. So now it's time just to put the new one back on. So I just wanted to say, I was so close to like losing a wheel, because it's supposed to have a metal like cap and all that stuff around the inside there. Mine no longer had that. It somehow disintegrated. So I was kind of running just on that, and that's what I was supposed to be running on. So I got really, really lucky. So change yours before I change mine. Thought my bearing wasn't right, and then I realized when I said mine disintegrated, it disintegrated around the actual shaft. So we had to cut it, and now we're trying to pry it out because that was the problem. And that's why it's nighttime outside now, and I'm still working on this. So now you gotta torque it down, and you gotta torque it to 139. So that is, you just gotta torque it down.
Yeah, because my running in the car.
And that is a little bit more. That'd be it.
You sure?
Yep. So we got everything back together, got the caliper on, got the e-brake put back on, we got the cap on, we got everything, we got the nut in the middle tightened down to 139 foot-pounds of torque. We got the little like latch pieces, we got the chisel and put that back in, and now everything's back on, should be good to go. The only thing left is putting the rim on, and then I'll be able to drive it probably tomorrow and make sure it's not making any more noises. Alrighty guys, so I didn't actually get any recording like footage of me doing the initial drive because I had to go to work and I actually didn't get a chance to drive it till then. But I hung out with Christian yesterday and got some rollers of the car, so I'm gonna put that here. Thank y'all so much for watching the video. I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see you later. Peace out.